What's up, everyone? I am back finally with a new video, and it's been a while since I did one. Now, those of you, since the last one, I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, so welcome. And I'm not sure if the new subscribers are here because of videos like this, or gear reviews, or because of my podcast. If you're here because of the podcast, hopefully you'll enjoy this. This still has to do with music. And those that don't know about the podcast, you can actually check out therockerdadpodcast.com. There are videos here that you've probably seen, but there's a lot more audio podcasts on that website. All kinds of people, from like Elliot Lewis of Hall & Oates to Joel Hoekstra of Whitesnake to Mark Kendall of the band Great White, and so on and so on. So if you want to check that out, check it out. It's on iTunes, but you can also go to therockerdadpodcast.com and download episodes if you want. But today I decided to, and now another couple of quick things. I mentioned this on the last podcast that I did, which was my last one for a while. The reason I haven't been doing many more videos like this, and also I had to stop the podcast for a while, is that I'm in the middle of buying and selling a house. And we've already got a house, an offer accepted on a new house, but now I'm trying to sell my house. So as those of you who have sold houses before, you know you have to declutter. So stupid me, what I ended up doing was I packed away my, I guess you call them tripods for my cameras. So I have no way of hooking up my iPhone or my other camera to get anything other than what you're seeing on the screen here, which is the Line 6 Helix editor. So I'm going to try to get a different view here and there during this video, but for the most part, you're just going to see this screen. And I apologize for that, but selling a house is more important. I just hope you enjoy the video. Now, today what I'm going to do is, and I've done this before, I have a brand new preset that I'm going to be using this weekend at a gig. Now, I normally had been using the Helix just for in 4-cable method for effects running through an actual tube amp, but I'm leaning more and more towards just running direct at all my gigs and using my in-ears all the time. I played a gig this past weekend at a festival. It was probably the worst time I've had on stage in a long time. I used my Marshall amp and cabinet, and I used the Helix for 4-cable for the effects. But because I didn't use my in-ears, I had to use their wedges. I had such a terrible time hearing my vocals, or pretty much anything else that night during the show, that I actually blew my voice out because I had to try to sing louder to compensate for not hearing it. So moving forward, I think I'm going to use my in-ears as much as possible, and I'm going to run direct to give the cleanest possible signal to front of house and also to my ears. Now, those of you that do that, you know, and maybe you don't, but for myself, and yeah, I know I'm rambling, I'm going to get to the playing in a minute, but for myself, I can hear a huge difference. When I mic my cabinet and I run it through my in-ears, it sounds completely different than when I run direct out of the Helix, or when I had a Kemper or the AXA from Fractal. It's a totally different sound. You just have to learn to live with it and improve it the best way that you can. So I'm going to move forward with that, and I'm going to try to use my Helix direct from now on as much as I can. I might be trying out a Line 6 Firehawk 1500 this weekend too, just for on stage for the rest of the band to hear, and in the event that I'm not able to use my in-ears. Like, every gig is different. And some sound guys or companies, if you don't have a lot of time to set up, they don't want you to hook anything extra up that's not necessary. So that's where I am now. Now, let's move along. This preset is called, you can see up in the corner, it's called All for One. And by that I mean, normally when I did other videos and used the Line 6 Helix Direct, I was more of a multiple channel amp guy, meaning I like the clean channel, I like the crunch channel, I like the heavy channel, I like the lead channel. For this, I wanted to, since I'm simplifying everything else, I want to really simplify how I'm playing on stage. So This is actually going to be a 1-channel amp preset. And on the Helix itself, hopefully I can get a picture up like right around here, or even a short video of the Helix itself, where it's laid out as a traditional pedal board. I'm not using snapshots. In the past I did. I wanted to make this just like, you know, you got a bunch of pedals lined up. I know the switching is a little more difficult, but being a 1-channel amp now, I don't need to have so many different configurations switching at once, where I can just turn on what I need and shut off what I don't need. So I'll show you that. So what I'm going to start with is a real surprise for me was I'm going to show you the amp. And normally I would use one of the branded amps or something Line 6 named after something else. For example, like the JCM 800, they named, what is the 2204 or something like that? I don't even remember what it is. But I'm using the Line 6 Badonk, and I never really got into the Line 6 creations as far as amps go. I usually went for, like I said, the JCM 800, the Plexi, the 5150. But I just started messing around with this a couple of weeks ago, the Badonk, and I actually kind of liked it. And I was able to continue building from there. Now, the other thing is I had been using impulse responses on all my direct presets and any presets I used to record with. I was using that at first with this, but then I decided to try the stock cabs again and found out that I liked the stock cabs even better. I'm using a dual cab, so I got the Line 6 Greenback 25 and also the Cali V30 here. And I made my cuts and I made my, basically I used a 57 because to me that just sounds the best out of all the mics. I'm so used to it from using it for years and gigs. So yeah, I'm using the Line 6 branded stuff, and I'm pretty happy with the results I'm getting. So what I'm going to do first, and I'm by the way, I'm using my ESP SA2, the Sambora model guitar, because it's the only one I have with me at the moment, and the strings are so old, and it needs an intonation, so you're going to hear some funky stuff going on. I apologize for that. The rest of my guitars are already packed for my gig this weekend. Now, being a 1-channel amp, what do I do for clean? Well, I have the gain set, or the drive on the amp set down to 3, which is pretty low for this amp. It's still going to give you a nice AC/DC type crunch, so that's going to be your main kind of rhythm tone. But any songs that I play that I need something really clean, I'll just switch to my American Floyd Strat and switch to one of the the single coil pickups, and that'll clean up a lot better than this Sambora guitar will. This guitar is used for the heavier stuff, but seeing that I don't have the other guitar with me, I'll try to get this one as clean as possible so you can hear. So right now we're gonna listen to the amp with the cabinets, and I have a plate reverb on here, and also you notice there's 3 delays, but I have a ping pong because I am going to be running this in stereo. And now this delay is just it's pretty minor. You might hear it through YouTube, you might not. Me more from in my in-ears, I can hear it better. So I know I talk too much, but like I said on other videos, I'm Italian, so bear with me. All right, so I'm just going to play some simple stuff, simple chords, just so you can get an idea of the bass tone. So it's a pretty cool, little Marshall-y type tone out of this Line 6 Badonk amp. I really like it. Now, like I said, that's just the main kind of AC/DC type rhythm tone with nothing on it, but a little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay. You can kind of hear the delay in there. And that's what I'll default to mostly when I'm playing. Now, if I need a little more grit, up here I have the Stupor OD, which I believe is the Boss Super Overdrive. Now this is set, as you can see, the drive's only at 1 and the level's all the way up. This is set just to give me a little bit more, so I'll turn that on. And here's what it off. On. So you can hear it adds a little bit more grit. It's not crazy. Now, if you want even more, what I did was I set one of the foot switches to a controller, which you can tell by the brackets around the 3.0 on the drive. When I hit that switch, you'll see it goes up to 6 on the drive. So you're going to get more distortion, more gain. Here it is with it off. On. So that gives you even more grit. Now, if you want even more, you can turn both of them on and get, really into more of a heavy metal type setting. Now I got both of them on. So that gives you the best of all worlds. Now I'm going to go back to turning both of those off, and I'm going to clean up. So even with this guitar with the hotter pickups that are in it, it cleans up pretty well. But like I said, when I need something really clean for a certain song, I'll use my other Strat, and it gets much cleaner than that. So that's how I'm getting around not using the multiple channel amps or setups anymore. And it should be fine for what I need to do. All right, so let's move on to, one other thing I want to mention. I have an EQ here at the end of the paths here. And the reason for this EQ, and I want to send a thank you out to Chad from the Line 6 Facebook group, and everybody knows Chad. I bought the screen protectors from him. A lot of you have too. They're worth the money, so go to Chad and order them. I think it's l6gear.com where you can check all that stuff out. But he and I got on, I think it was FaceTime one day, because I was having a problem dialing in a tone I was happy with. I was happy with what I was getting, but I want, me, like most of you guys guitar players, you want it even better. So we got on and we went through all my settings and all the ins and outs and all that stuff, and everything seemed to be set right. But just by adding this EQ here at the end of the chain and dialing in, first we used the global settings, the global EQ, and we found a way to take that so-called fizz, a lot of guys call it, dial it out. So we did it through the global EQ. Then I went to this parametric and I kind of mimicked the settings I had from that. So now in every preset that I make, I add this EQ at the end of the chain, and it really does improve the tone that I'm hearing anyway, especially when you're using in-ears and it's pressed up against your eardrums and you can hear every little thing about it. So this EQ is basically, it was more the high Q and the high gain down here, where I had to take it down 7 dB, and it really took out some of the fizz. So I don't know if you're going to hear it. That's with it on. So if I shut it off, it's very, very subtle. I can hear it. Like, it's almost like it's enveloping the sound. I can hear it when I turn it on. I can hear this little like hiss, not hissing, but like guys have been saying, fizz, that it's on all these modelers. It kind of goes away for the most part, so it improved the tone for me anyway. It might not for you, but this is what I like. So next, let's go to how I have these effects set up. Let's start with the delays. So this is the ping pong delay. You can hear it. I don't know if it's going back and forth in the speakers or not, depending on how I have this set up. Like I said, in the middle of moving or selling a house, I had to disconnect a lot of stuff, so you might not hear it the right way. So that delay is on my tone all the time. And then this delay here, I believe, let me see something. Yes, I have a lead boost set up on one of the foot switches, which turns on this volume here, gives it a 3.5 dB volume boost. So the sound guy doesn't have to worry about turning you up for your solos. And it also turns on this transistor tape delay. And this is also not crazy, delays going all over the place, but you can hear it. And when the band's playing, it's not going to be obviously as pronounced as you're hearing it now. So that's that. And that foot switch, which is labeled lead boost, is hooked up to, I just got an alert on my computer. You probably saw that. It's hooked up to one switch. So the lead boost will turn on the volume and also that other delay. And the first delay stays on because it's so subtle that you're not going to hear it. And I have all of them. Actually, this should be on. I'm not sure why it's not, but I just noticed that. So I'm going to save it. The tempo sync will usually be on for all these delays. Let me just check them just to make sure. Yeah, they're on. So you can set the tempo, obviously, with your drummer when you're playing a gig. So that's the lead boost and the delay. Now I have this third delay here, which I call long delay on the foot switch that is really pronounced. So let me turn that on. Self-explanatory. It's just a long delay, and that's what it's labeled on the floorboard. It's just when you need it, it's there. I don't use it a lot. I use it sometimes at the very last chord of a song just to really pronounce it. Or there's a couple of solos I do. Doing Bon Jovi, I believe, what song is it? Raise Your Hands has a cool little run at the end of it. I might have just played it, but you add that delay in and it really beefs it up a little bit. All right, so moving on, let's go up to, I got the usual Cry Baby Wah. I don't really change any settings. I think it sounds fine the way it is. I have a pitch effect for Never Say Goodbye, which we do in You Give Love a Bad Name. And all it is adding an octave above. So if I turn that on, and it's dedicated to a foot switch, you'll hear... And it does what it's supposed to. I mean, the mix is at 65. It's not overpowering. It's more than half. But for what I need it for, if you want to... I will upload this at some point. So if you want to adjust this stuff, have fun. Let's move along. So you already saw the distortion. Now this, I have a compressor set up, which I don't have it set to a foot switch. I had it in here, and I'm not sure I'm using it anymore. I think I had it on before, so I don't know. It might have been here for one of my other presets. Like I have multiple presets of this same preset where I'm doing more acoustic stuff or clean stuff, so I would just keep this on in that preset. But for this preset, which is mainly rhythm and stuff like that, I keep it off, but it's there to use if you want to copy the preset and use it for something else. Then I have the usual Phase 90 phaser. again, I don't like an overpowering phaser, so that's pretty subtle, probably what you're hearing there. But I don't use it a lot, but it's there because I like everything Van Halen. Then I have the flanger, which is usual, gliding flanger. That's all it is. Nothing out of the ordinary. Let's get down to the second path, and I have an optical tremolo, which pretty self-explanatory. It's, I'm not crazy. I'm not a crazy effects guy, but I do like having all these on the board, just for if you get some sort of inspiration and you want to throw it in while you're jamming, it's there. All right, so the Trinity Chorus. This is more for when so let me turn that on. It's a cool effect. You can use it for whatever you want. Again, I'm not a big effects guy, but again, I like having access to all this stuff when I need it. I think that's pretty much it. I have this here is the lead boost, which I went over earlier. I have a volume pedal on the front of the whole thing. If you want to mute everything, just turn that off. I do have a looper here at the end. That's just for me for fun, and it's assigned to a foot switch. Also, this comes in handy for sound checks. If you don't feel like standing up there playing the same boring riffs over and over again while the sound guy is getting you level, I will just play something, record it in here, and then hit play and let the sound guy do what he has to do, and I can go get a drink or do whatever I want to do and not have to play and stand there. But that's pretty much it. All for one. I'm going to try it this weekend, and I will try to get this uploaded. I've been just super busy with everything, and so I haven't really had time to do anything online as far as this kind of thing with videos. But I appreciate everybody, especially you guys that have stuck with my videos and the new people coming in that want to check this stuff out. Once I get moved into my new house and get my little studio room set up the way I want it, I'll really try to buckle down and get some more videos. If anybody has any requests on anything, let me know. But it'll probably be, the standard stuff I've been doing. Please do check out the podcast. That's also not only is my YouTube channel building, but the podcast the listenership is really getting much higher. And it's funny because as soon as I stopped, my last episode was a few weeks ago, and I said this is my last one for a while, I started getting a lot more followers and a lot more downloads, which is strange because I have no new content going in. But if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Like I said, there are videos here on my YouTube channel, videos of the podcast where you can see me talking to the other person that I'm interviewing. But there are also many more audio podcasts that don't have video that you can check out too. So I know I gotta stop the rambling, but I'm pretty stoked to try this weekend. We'll see how it goes, and maybe I'll do a report next week on how I made out. I just hope I don't have the same experience that I had last week, because that was very wasn't fun. Let's put it that way. So, all right, so we're at the end of the video. I think I've talked long enough. This has gone much longer than it needed to, but that's my new preset. Hope you like it. When I upload it, hope it works for you. If you want to give it a try, if it sucks, just delete it. Okay, so until next time, as I say on my podcast, take care.